So let's talk about selling or not selling by people who aren't salespeople. Every company has staff. They could be accountants, they could be warehouse people, stock persons, whoever. And they don't think they sell. They're not, doesn't say sales rep on their cards. But they can affect sales. And they can affect it in two ways, either positively or negatively. I did some consulting for a building supply company, working on their sales, working on their marketing. I interviewed a number of their customers in the retail store to find out what they thought about the store. And the customers thought that the store was really a friendly place. Some of the staff were really great. And so I asked the names of the staff who they were dealing with, and the name Bonnie kept turning up. That she was really bright, cheerful, very friendly. Well, I'd met all the salespeople, and there wasn't a salesperson named Bonnie. So I asked around. I found that Bonnie was an assistant accountant. She worked in the office on the second floor. But Bonnie made it a habit of when she walked through the store to get to her office, she stopped and talked to customers. And she made them feel welcome, and she smiled at them, and she appreciated their business. And they appreciated that kind of service from the store. They didn't know she was not a salesperson. They just knew she was a store representative. So she affected the sales positively. Now, on the other hand, I worked for a printing company for a while, and going out to make a sales call, I pulled out onto the street we were on and drove up to a major street in the city. There's vehicles parked on both sides, so I had to edge my way out somewhat into the street to decide whether I was going to turn or not. Coming from my right down the main street and wanting to turn left was a 3-ton truck. You know, he could have just kept driving past me and then making a turn, but he didn't do that. He cut it short. Normally he'd turn across the lane that I was in and just carry on, but of course he couldn't do that because I was there. So as he got right next to me and he couldn't turn the truck anymore, he rolled his window down and he questioned my parents' marriage, and he chatted about my age, and not too in friendly style. He inquired as to when I got my driver's license in a fashion. And he used a lot of profanity at me, and I was not happy with that. Now, he felt quite comfortable because he was in his 3-ton truck and I was in my car. Of course, what he didn't realize was that while I'm sitting 3 feet below him, I'm sitting right next to the logo on his truck. As it turns out, ironically, that truck was a paper delivery truck. They were delivering brand new paper to the printing company that I worked at. So I backed my car up and he got around me and I drove off and made my sales call. But when I got back to the office, I talked to the owner that I worked for. I told him the story. And of course, he was very familiar with the guy who owned the paper company because we bought a lot of paper from that company. So he phoned that company, and told the story to that owner, who said that was the 3rd time he'd heard some kind of complaint about that driver. And so when the driver got back for the day, he was asked to park the truck and find a different job because he no longer worked for that company anymore, because that paper company needed our business and they didn't need anybody to unsell us by having that guy rag on me. So, even people who aren't in sales can affect sales positively or negatively. Pay attention.